So I'm Brad Levitt, president of AFT Construction. Thank you for tuning into our YouTube channel. And today we're answering one of the questions, how to communicate change orders with your customer. This is something that's really important to understand. We did a previous video speaking about, the importance of communication. When a client wants a change, how do we communicate that, right? We don't want to anticipate that they don't want to do it because there may be a big cost or there may be a time constraint. The reality is we just have to present that information, let them make the decision. Now, how do we present and communicate those change orders? And I'll give a really good example. A few years back, we had a client, and you can see we're out here with the countertops, and we were at their home. They had this large, beautiful island. And as we were getting ready to install the island, the client was like, hey, it was the day before we're gonna install. They said, I wanna make a change to the cabinetry. I actually wanna extend this. It didn't change the footprint of the island, but we had to delay install to make a couple cabinetry changes for the client on the exterior, because that had to be done before the countertop was installed. Regardless, our fabrication company still had to come out the next day to put in all the other bathrooms and all the perimeter cabinetry countertops, right? So that we can continue forward with backsplashes and keep the schedule moving. So our client knew that there was one powder bathroom that we were waiting on a custom built furniture to have installed. So in the client's mind, they knew, hey, the countertop guys have to come back and put in this one vanity for the powder bath. One little vanity is really small little powder bath. And they now had to do the island. So fast forward, countertop company came out, they installed all the countertops with the exception of the island and this powder bath. And now the change order came, right? And the client was anticipating, hey, a $75 trip charge. But in their mind, they said, we shouldn't pay any trip charge. They already got to come back for the powder bathroom, right? And so where it's really important, that breakdown of communication, the trip charge from the countertop company was almost $400. And our team had sent that over. There was no communication, right? Hey, this change order's coming. Here's the cost of the trip charge of $400. And of course, the client was extremely upset. First off, they said, hey, Brad, there should be no charge or maybe a $75 charge, not $400. But here's what's really important, and this is where we fail to communicate. As a builder that we're dealing with this, we understand, hey, when our countertop company was coming out to install all the countertops, they had 6 guys coming out, right? They had 6 people coming out. They had equipment to lift. These are heavy countertops, big perimeters. So they had the staff. Well, now that we didn't put the island in, you can't bring one person, right? If they were doing the powder bath, one guy could come out, he could come by a nearby job, he could set the countertop himself. It was really easy to carry it with one person. There may be no trip charge, maybe a minor one to come back. But now with the island, you can't send one person. We have to send 6 guys out. They have to bring it in, wheel it in, right? Set it together. I mean, this is a major install. And so we didn't convey to the customer that, hey, because we regrouped and rescheduled them, we had 2 different visits of 6 people. And now you got to think of the countertop company. You have to stage it, you have to load it, you have to drive out there. This is manpower, these are hours, there's a cost to the subcontractor. And when we explained that, the client was okay with the charge, even though they're frustrated at the beginning, but they didn't understand the context. And that's where a lot of times for us as builders, we send out change orders, we send out costs, and we don't really give an explanation or help the client understand the entire impact to certain processes and decisions. And it's the same thing where a client will reach out and say, hey, Brad, no one's been on my site today, right? And we have to help them understand that there's ebbs and flows of construction. There's days where we have a lot of people on site and days where we don't have very many. And part of it is we're gauging our crew sizes. We're making sure that they're not coming out multiple times, multiple trip charges, right? How can we stage this schedule so they can come out and be effective and hammer it out? If the electrician needs to come out, can we get a 5-day window where they can do most of the lighting and trim work? As opposed to making 6 different trip charges, which now incurs more cost to the client, to the vendor, to the trade. And it's really important that we're efficient, we convey that, and we communicate that properly with the client.